All right, on to the office vacancy. Now, there are some brokers out there who are way more diligent than I am, like everybody at Picor. Tom's lost my thought over there. Who can make all the phone calls to everybody and add up all the office vacancy numbers and add up all the new construction. It's an awful lot of work. Terry used to do that work herself. There's just not enough hours in the day for me as a solo guy. So what I do is I look at a bunch of economic indicators and I just kind of go with my gut. These are the things that I'm going to go through here. The economy, Tucson population growth, job growth, financing availability, office construction, business expansions, bankruptcies and foreclosures, and commercial mortgage defaults. And I go through these and I just say, what does it feel like out there? I mean, does it feel like we're in a boom town right now? Obviously not. Does it feel like the wheels are coming off and you know, it's the Great Depression? I didn't obviously live through the Great Depression, but based on what my parents tell me, it's not like that. So I go through this and I just kind of go with my gut. For me, I've found that my gut feeling is better than me trying to add up a bunch of numbers. The economy, obviously, we're still somewhat down with that. Doesn't hurt as bad as it did this time last year, but still is not what it was 5 years ago. Tucson population growth, as Brenda said, it's a nice place to live. People are always going to be moving here. Although with the recession and gas prices and all that, it doesn't seem like they're moving here quite as much. Job growth also somewhat down. Financing availability now, the lenders that I talk to, they say, oh yeah, we still got money to lend, which is true, they do. But underwriting is a lot more strict. Loan to value is lower, so it is harder to get financing for properties. Office construction, this is down. I'm not seeing as many projects being built as there were a couple of years ago. This would actually affect the office vacancy rate. This would bring the office vacancy rate down. Business expansions are down. I've seen office tenants downsize and shut down entirely. Some smaller offices, they close down and they move back into the home office. That increases office vacancy. Bankruptcies and foreclosures, those are increasing. And commercial mortgage defaults, this is something new that I added this year because I've been reading about it a lot in the paper. I'll explain that on the next slide. Those are up and are going to be up. So those are the factors that I look at and I say, what does this feel like? And looking at those, it feels to me like the office vacancy rate is going to increase. Now, I hate it when somebody does a PowerPoint thing and then they read to you off of the PowerPoint thing, but I'm going to do that here because I think this is significant. I got this out of National Real Estate Investor magazine, and they're quoting Foresight Analytics, which is a data mining company, commercial real estate data company out of California. What they said is that more than 36% of the $270 billion in commercial real estate loans maturing in 2010, this year, have mortgage balances greater than their value. More than a third of commercial real estate loans maturing this year are upside down. Now, this is a nationwide study. This is nationwide, all property types, and $5 million and up. Going on by next year, 49% of maturing loans will have negative equity, followed by 63% in 2012, 61% in 2013, 57% in 2014. Loans expected to mature in the next 5 years with balances greater than their collateral value total $750 billion. More than half of loans coming up in 2011, 12, 13, 14 are going to be upside down. That just blows my mind. So I think that that will definitely affect vacancy across the country. And it also kind of reminds me about the RTC days. I'll get onto that in a second. So how do I come up with my forecast number? What I do is I just take the historical vacancy number, I put it into Microsoft Excel, I have it draw me a graph like this, I have it plot a trend line, which is that squiggly curve along there, and then I look at the trend line and I say, what do I think? Where's that going? Here's where we ended up last year, as 16.9%. I look at that and I say, I think the curve is going to continue up. I don't think it's going to turn around and go down. This is the office vacancy curve, and I don't really think it's going to flatten out. So I look at that and I say, where's that dot going to be? It now looks to me like 18.2. Not very scientific, but seems to work for me. Now, if we look at the data all the way back, if I back up here, this slide goes back to 1997. You can look at that and say, oh, things are terrible. Look at that, historical highs. But if we take it all the way back to the RTC days of the late 80s and early 90s, we can see that we're not doing too badly. Now, right there is my 18.2 for this year. But when I think about the RTC days, a lot of things came together. It was kind of a perfect storm that created some trouble there. What happened? There was a construction glut, there was easy financing, there was over-leverage, there was the collapse of the savings and loan institutions, and then there was a change in the depreciation laws for real estate. What have we seen in the last 2 years? We've seen overbuilding, we've seen easy financing, we've seen over-leveraging, and we've seen a collapse of over 100 some banks nationwide. They haven't changed the, to my knowledge, they haven't changed the depreciation laws at the federal level. But those 4 things were critical in creating the RTC days. A lot of properties got taken back, and the Resolution Trust Corporation was created by the federal government to liquidate those. I don't know where this is going. I hope we don't get back to almost 30% office vacancy. But a lot of things have come together that also came together back in the late 1980s. So anyway, that's how I get my 18.2%. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of the forecast.